How you guys doing? It's 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and this is breaking down the books. Now, yesterday we had a pretty balanced day. Went 5 of 10. Gave you guys the Buffalo Sabres money line. They ended up losing in overtime. They got terribly outplayed. I'm surprised that they were even held in the game, but they got severely outplayed by Arizona, which we know Arizona could actually pace the game really well. So gave you Buffalo money line. That didn't hit. Gave you Buffalo Arizona under 5.5. That hit. Gave you Vancouver minus 1.5 to cover that spread. That hit. So just those two picks alone basically covered you for whatever losses that you may have had or suffered throughout the day. In the NFL, gave you the Steelers versus Dolphins under 43, stopped at 41. In the NBA, we went 2 of 5, which is not very good. I got to do better. So Raptors gave you the Raptors minus 4.5, that covered. Gave you Philly and ATL over 221, that did not hit. Cleveland at the spread, which was 15.5, that did not hit. OKC under 227.5. I gave you the under, but if you remember in that game, I said if you could buy some points, it'll be great. And I essentially ended up buying points. It doesn't really matter, but I give the under 227 with the points buying also available. And ended up stopping at 228. But anyways, that failed. Gave you Utah to cover minus 4.5. Phoenix gave them a hard time and gave you Clippers and Charlotte under 227.5, and that hit. So a grand total of 5 out of 5. Sorry, 5 out of 10 on the night. Anyways, not to spend too much time on this, we got a nice slate of hockey today. Got 9 great games, or 9 games just in general, and we're gonna get right into it. Starting with the Sharks versus Boston. Got Martin Jones, who sucks, versus Tuukka Rask, who's 5-0-1 at the spread. I'm not gonna stay too long on this. I'm just gonna tell you guys what's going on as far as injuries goes, and it's pretty much the same injuries outside of Par Lindholm, who is not going to be able to play against San Jose today. But apart from that, pretty much all the regular injuries are here, and there's nothing much to change. We got Tuukka Rask versus Martin Jones. I like Boston minus 1.5. To open up the show, and that's what I'm gonna give you. I don't want to spend too much time wasting on this. Honestly, I think Boston is gonna do what they have to do today. They usually do at home. I'll live with the results if they don't, and that's what I'm gonna start with to start the day. Moving along, we got the Washington Capitals versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know if you guys heard, but my friend, one of my favorite players in the league, Alexander Ovechkin, threw some shade at Toronto, saying that they're not playing as a team, and if they want to play like this, they're fine to play the way they've been playing. But if they actually want to win a championship, they got to learn to play Stanley Cup hockey. If basically telling them that they got to stop being selfish. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if I heard this, I'm pretty sure that the Toronto guys heard this. So I don't know, man. I'm expecting fire in this game. Braden Holtby's at net with a 4-1-3 record. Freddie Anderson, we all know what he's doing. 6-2-1 on the season. Not so good with a save percentage, but he's sporting a 2.94 goal against average, which is actually getting better, seeing as he started the season allowing a shit ton of goals. You got Braden Holtby, who's sporting a 3.64, 886 save percentage, which is not good either. Give me the over in that game. I would give you Washington here, but I can't roll with them knowing that they just threw shade at the team that they're playing on their home floor or on their home ice rather. So I would rather not play with fire. Maybe Toronto shows Washington that yes, we are able to play Stanley Cup hockey and blow them straight out the water. I don't know, but I'm not willing to find out the hard way. Moving along, we got the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh's still favorite. I don't understand it. They're still favorite. They've been they just knocked off their losing streak by beating the Dallas Stars. They're still on their road trip and they're trying to close it out. They're trying to close it. Sorry, they're still they're currently at home. They ended their road trip by getting a win. Sorry, I'm slurring my words here, but they're trying to bounce back and trying to keep it going. And obviously, we got the Philadelphia Flyers here, who are coming with Brian Elliott at net, who allowed so many goals the last time out that they played. Um, Philly Philly is underdog here, as they should be. Like I said, Brian Elliott allowed a lot of goals in that last game that he played. Um, they played the last game Brian Elliott started rather was against was against Columbus, and Columbus ended up sorry, no, they ended up beating Columbus on Saturday. and then they ended up losing to the Islanders. So it wasn't necessarily his fault, but that's just what ended up happening. So what could I say about that? Pittsburgh 6-3 in their last nine. They didn't do so hot on their road swing. They're back at home. The under hit in four of the last five games for Pittsburgh. Philly actually is 15-8 at the spread on the road. 4-1 straight up when they play against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh still has some injuries. I'd have a hard time betting on. I'd have a hard time betting on Philly today. I honestly do. But let's just put this in perspective. Brian Elliott has a 9.26 goal against save percentage, a 2.28 goal against average. Matt Murray 2.33, 918. Very similar here. And the stats are saying bet Philly, but I'm saying I like my money too much. I'm gonna move along to the next game. Next game, we got the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Flames. Hurricanes at home. Peter Mrazek at net. Mrazek's been rock freaking solid. 5-1-1 on the season. 2.42 goal against average with a 909 save percentage, which is identical to his expected opponent today on the other end of the ice, David Rittich, who's also sporting a 90.9 save percentage. Not so bad, not so shabby. I like this matchup over here. I think it's gonna go under. I don't think there's gonna be as many goals as everybody thinks there is, and the bookies also know something about that because it's at 6.0. A 6.0 is I don't understand why they don't just give the hook, but obviously I do is because both goalies are playing at a very high rate. I don't think either team is gonna be able to find the back of the net, but that's just my personal take on it. I'm not gonna give you any stats or any rundowns on it. That's just my personal take on it. I'm gonna give you the under. I don't want to take too much time out of your hands. It's already 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I want to give you guys as much time as possible to cap on your own time and do whatever it is you got to do. And that's pretty much it. Moving along, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New York Rangers. Lightning are a stupid favorite, paying next to nothing on your buck. 44 cents if you have certain books. Um, 35 cents if you're dealing with my book. Actually, I believe they might only be offering 130. So $1.30 on your buck. So you get 30 cents on your buck. I'm not liking those numbers at all. You got Vasilevsky versus Gorgiev. If you're not betting the minus 1.5 for the Tampa Bay Lightnings, which I'd actually be wary of, then there's no real sense in betting on this game today. But just for the sake of seeing, like, just to see what's going on, I'm gonna get into a little bit of the details just to see some historicals between these guys and let you know exactly what's going on. We got to break down the books together, right? So Tampa Bay, sorry, New York is 1-6 in their last seven. We all know that. They're 1-4 straight up at home, which is not very good. We all know that. 0-5 in the last five versus Tampa Bay, so they just can't rack up a win. Doesn't help that they got Gorgiev at net tonight, or Georgiev rather. And on the other end, you got Tampa Bay, who's 4-10 at the spread, which is why I don't want to bet on them at the spread. They've been winning games, but at a not at a very competitive level. Totals gone under in four of their last six. That's all of them this season, and they're actually 4-1 when they play on the road against the Rangers. So while the Rangers are 0-5 in their last five versus Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay's lost one on the road versus these guys. To me, it's a stay away because I'm not going to put a money line on Tampa Bay, and I don't trust them to do what they have to do. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it, and I'm going to move on to the next game. Got you in the Chicago Blackhawks. Did I skip? Yes, I skipped the Edmonton game. So I got you on the Edmonton versus Detroit, where we got Koskinen, who's still 5-0, hasn't taken a loss yet, versus Jimmy Howard. Um, Jimmy Howard and the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know when they're gonna get a win. They're on an eight-game losing streak. It's horrible over there. It doesn't look like it's gonna get any better. Give me the Edmonton Oilers to bounce back after their loss over the weekend. I like Edmonton at minus 1.5 to get it popping. I like Koskinen to save everything that Detroit tries to throw at him. Koskinen has been the reason that Edmonton has been doing what they're doing, and I like Edmonton minus 1.5 today. That's probably going to be our only 1.5 on the night. No stats needed. Don't bet on the Red Wings. Don't bet on the losing team on a losing streak. It's just not worth it. Next game, Chicago Blackhawks versus the Nashville Predators, where we got Robin Lehner versus Pekka Rinne. Just by hearing these two names, to me, it screams under. And the under is actually paying 6.0. Chicago Blackhawks are a massive underdog here, where we got Nashville, who plays to their opponent's skills every time. I'm going to repeat it every time. Nashville hasn't proven to me otherwise. They play to their up to their opponent's standards. They don't do anything differently. Let's go into the historicals, check to see what's going on between these guys, and I'll give you any other out. Basically, let's see if I could convince myself not to pick the under in this game. And but as of right now, I believe that this game is gonna go under. So 4-2 is Nashville at the spread in the last six, which means they scored and won by two or more goals. Uh, 4-1 at home, so they've only lost one at home, and they're actually 5-1 straight up in the last six when they're playing against Chicago, where the overs actually hit in six of Nashville's last eight games. But mind you, most of the time when Pekka Rinne is at net, that over is a 5.5 because he's been doing quite all right. Pekka Rinne has. Chicago is 2-4 at the spread, 1-4 in their last five. The under is actually hit in six of their last eight, and it's actually gone over in their last 14 on the road. So my under is not necessarily a very good pick, but I like my chances because I got Robin Lehner at net. So I'm gonna go against the grain here, and I'm gonna give you guys the under in the Chicago game. No winners, no losers, just the under. Moving along, we got the Minnesota Wild versus the Dallas Stars, where we got Staylock at net for Minnesota versus Ben Bishop. Ben Bishop's been all right. Staylock's been looking better than Devin Dubnyk has. They might start. They might end up taking out Staylock at the last minute and giving you Dubnyk to start at net. Uh, I don't know. I'd like to know what you guys think about this game. Uh, to me, it's a stay away. I don't like a pick, and I'm not gonna give one. The under is at 5.0, and I think that's way too low. I think there's gonna be a lot of goals in this game, but hey, what do I know? Both of these goalies just put in great goal against average. It was like it's like 2.28 and 1.96 respectively for Staylock and Ben Bishop. Sorry, for Ben Bishop and Staylock respectively. Ben Bishop with the better goal against average, which is like 1.86 or some shit like that. If I can't put the over, then I'm not putting the under. I'm sorry. 5.0 is a little bit too low. You could get it at 5.5 in certain books, which is probably still a little bit too low for my liking. I'm not giving a pick in this game. I'll stay away. Moving along, last game of the night, we got the Winnipeg Jets versus the Anaheim Ducks. Connor Hellebuck versus John Gibson. John Gibson's been very, very, very good. 9.23 save percentage with his 2.52 goal against average. Connor Hellebuck 5-4 on his record, 2.21 goal against average with one shutout under his belt. Let's get into a little bit of the historicals between these two teams just to know what's going on, because this is seems to me like it would be a pretty good game to watch. Winnipeg hasn't been doing very good off the top of my head. Just seeing what they do. I watch Winnipeg games and man, they struggle. They don't do very well at all. They seem to be struggling a lot, and I don't like what I see from them. The total's actually gone under in four of their last five. Total's gone under in five of their last seven on the road. So these are good numbers. And in general, when Anaheim and Winnipeg see each other, the game goes under. And that's saying something because Winnipeg's actually an over team. Now we know Anaheim's an under team, uh, typically, but John Gibson's been playing so well that they've been giving us 5.0s and 5.5s, so it's hard to hit those. 2-2 and you go to overtime, that's obviously a over if you're dealing with the 5.0. Well, it's a push, and if you let in a goal or two or 3-3, that's over, and 3-4, anyways, like it's basically a very low for a total. Anaheim's a 7-1 straight up in the last eight games, and they're actually 1-4 in their last five. So they're telling us here. Anyways, this is random numbers, but they're 1-4 in their last five, which matters more than their last seven at home, right? So they're 1-4 in their last five, but 7-1 at home. So it's gonna be an interesting game. The under is a 5.5. Dangerous pick. I would put it, but I'm wary of that pick, so I'm not gonna give one. I lean under, but I'm not gonna give that pick today. And that's pretty much it. Gonna move on to baseball, where we got Justin Verlander facing off against Steven Strasburg. Washington's a massive underdog here. They're paying damn near $3 on your dollar. Totals at 7.5. I think this game is gonna go to Game 7. Uh, maybe, maybe not. But like I said, I think this game is going to go to Game 7. Justin Verlander is the baddest man in baseball. There's no reason to bet against him. I'm not convinced that. I'm not convinced, but on the other hand, Strasburg's been playing really well in his own right. And yeah, what is it, like 41 strikeouts he had in a few in a anyways, like, I think this game goes to a Game 7 because I recently heard that and you guys probably heard this if you guys are following the sports media, that the MLB's World Series has had its lowest rating in years, and that's not necessarily a good thing. You really want to end a World Series on a bad note like that, especially when teams are, when you when you have such low ratings, you're not really making as much money, so it matters less, right? Maybe it's like politically, sports politics. It might be a good thing for Houston to basically end this with Justin Verlander, or sports politics or sports conspiracy rather. They try to up the ante by giving us the two best words in sports. Game 7. Yeah. Anyways, give me the plus 1.5 for Washington. I would much rather take that than take anything else. Maybe even the under, but that's a dangerous pick. But that's pretty much it for me as far as the baseball goes. I like the the plus 1.5 in this game for this game not to end tonight, and hopefully the World Series goes to 7 games. If you guys bought Washington beforehand, they were paying 3-1 for them to win the World Series, and if they you pretty much cashed after they went up 2-0. At least double your money. I know I did. And if you were smart, you bought Houston to come back from the deficit, although they were only paying even money. But that's all I got to say about that. Moving along to the association, we still don't have too many statistics to give you. I will be giving you breakdowns in depth as of next week. As of right now, I'm just going to tell you who's injured, who's not. And we're going to start with the Atlanta versus Miami game. I believe Jimmy Butler is still not going to be playing due to the fact that he has a baby on the way. We could check to see if it's happened already, but I'm convinced that he's not going to be playing today. And as of right now, Chandler Parsons still out. Alan Crabb still out. This is for the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks just played last night versus Philly in a very good game. You got James Johnson, who's still out, coach's decision for some reason. Udonis Haslam, who's old, doesn't really matter. Kelly Olynyk, who's still out. Dion Waiters is still suspended, and he's not going to play today. And Derrick Jones is also out, and that's pretty much it on the day. Jimmy Butler, obviously, is probably not going to be playing. Like I said, he has the birth of his child, so he's probably not going to be in the lineup. 8.0 is the spread for Miami. And They're heavy favorites here. Give me Atlanta to cover that spread. I like what I've been seeing from them. I'm high off them. If these guys are way too young right now. They have way too much young legs to be tired after a back-to-back. Yes, they played last night versus a heavy Philadelphia team who's probably going to win the East if everything goes smoothly for them. But give me that 8.0. I like Atlanta to cover. I'll probably buy a point 0.5. So give me the 8.5. Eight's a push. It's paying a pretty penny. So give me 8.5 for Atlanta. 224 is the total. I'm not convinced that it goes under or over. Couldn't give you a number here, but I like Atlanta. Moving along, we got Dallas versus Denver. Dallas is still playing on a very, very high level. Now they're going to meet their match when they play Denver at home. Denver, who is at home, just played last night. They had a pretty competitive game in their own right. But they ended up being victorious last night. They played against the Sacramento Kings, and they just covered that spread by a bucket. So that was an interesting thing to watch. Jokic didn't get his points, but he got 13 rebounds and not enough steals that it mattered. He ended up, sorry, 2 steals and 2 assists. Not enough assists that it mattered. I like Denver here, but I'm not going to bet on Denver because I'm high off of Dallas. I think Dallas low key makes the playoffs, and that's pretty much it. If anything, I'll go with the under to make it a little bit more competitive. I think a little bit more bricks, but Denver is a very good home team. But again, they're on a back to back. I don't like their chances. Next game, Lakers, Memphis, uh, in LA. I'd like to know if Rajon Rondo is still away. If Rajon Rondo is out still, which it seems as of right now, yeah. So he was a game time decision yesterday. This is why I'm. This is why I was debating. So as of yesterday, it was a game time decision for today, and now he's officially out. Lakers have to cover an 11.5 spread. Grizzlies just beat Brooklyn on Sunday. Bust my card. Wasn't too pleased about that. They ended up ruining me for that night. That was the last card that I made on that night. And well, I ended up covering with Aaron Rodgers, so that doesn't really matter. But I'm getting off track here. Um, Lakers 11.5 is a little bit low for me. And the 218, if anything, I'm going to give you guys the over 218.0 because Memphis is a running team. They like to run. I don't think Lakers are going to try to slow the pace down. If they want to win this game, they're going to have to keep up with the Young Gunners. And I'm not convinced that they even get blown out here. But instead of putting a plus 11.5, because it seems to me like they're deferring a little bit less to just feeding and force feeding Anthony Davis, who seems to be getting shut down in second halves to me and not necessarily shut down, or maybe he's just a first half player. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's just like, all right, I got my points now. Now it's your turn, LeBron. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't like what I'm seeing. So I'm gonna give you guys the over in that game and call it a day. So again, I'd like you guys to go ahead and smash that like button, destroy that like button, comment, leave a comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys get updated anytime I post these videos. And I'm gonna give you guys the rundown for today and let you know what I got starting at the top. So starting at the top, we got the Boston Bruins minus 1.5. Got the Washington Capitals versus Toronto over 6.5. We got the Calgary Flames versus the Hurricanes under 6.0. We got the Edmonton Oilers minus 1.5 to cover. So that's two 1.5s on the night. We got the under in the Chicago Blackhawks versus Nashville Predators. Uh, Strasburg versus Verlander in the World Series. I got the Nationals plus 1.5. Atlanta Hawks in the NBA, I'm giving you the Atlanta Hawks plus 8.0. I'm giving you the under 213.5 in Dallas versus Denver. And I'm giving you the over 218.0 in Memphis versus the Lakers. All those picks will be posted on my Twitter, so you will be able to find those listed. And that's pretty much it for me today. Don't forget to press that like button, smash that like button, subscribe and hit that notification bell. That'd be great. Also, let me know how you've been doing, if you've been fading me, if you've been winning, if you've been losing. It's all welcomed. You guys could leave your picks below and let guys think know what you're thinking. Right now, it doesn't seem like it's going on. I just started doing these YouTube shows about 3 weeks now, but trust me, I'm telling you this now. Eventually, you guys are gonna see action. So please, feel free to be part of a growing process and come support your boy. Again, I tell you all the time, best of luck to all, and please do not bet what you can't afford to lose. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Be safe, be good, and I'll see you again tomorrow.